You ever notice how you're genuinely putting in the work, yet life doesn't seem to move with you? You're consistent, you're committed, you're doing everything people say you should, but your progress still feels slow, almost out of sync with the effort you're giving. And you keep it to yourself, because how do you admit that you're disciplined but not improving? Here's the part nobody talks about. Discipline can push you forward, but it can also quietly lock you in place. It's an uncomfortable feeling, but a familiar one for many people. Because deep down, you know you're capable of more. So why doesn't your growth match your consistency? Let's unpack this gently, because the real explanation is far more subtle than people imagine. Chapter 1. The loop you never noticed. It usually begins silently. You build routines, set goals, and commit, consistently and with pride. But somewhere along the journey, you notice things aren't moving the way you imagined. And that's when the quiet doubt enters. Is something wrong with me? No, nothing's wrong. Discipline is powerful, but discipline without review becomes repetition. Ever felt like you're doing the same things every day, waiting for them to click? That's the hidden loop. Consistent action without meaningful adjustment. You don't lack discipline. You lack direction shaped by reflection, not routine. But direction by itself isn't the shift. Something deeper influences the outcome. Chapter 2. When effort turns into repetition. You can be consistent for weeks and still feel stuck. Why? Because your mind likes familiarity, even when familiarity isn't helpful. Your brain settles into patterns, and once those patterns feel normal, effort becomes automatic. Comfort feels safe, but comfort slows growth. Here's the part no one mentions. Sometimes discipline hides the real issue. You're so focused on showing up, you forget to ask, is this still the right way to show up? You're not at a dead end. You're following an outdated pattern, but patterns shift the moment you understand what keeps them alive. Chapter 3. The real reason you feel stuck. Picture this. You're reading a page, but your eyes keep drifting to the same line. You're trying, but the meaning stays just out of reach. That's what progress feels like when you work without reviewing your approach. You stay committed, but unaware of the small habits silently slowing you down. Here's the quiet truth. Most people don't lack motivation. They lack feedback, the kind that helps effort evolve. You're not falling behind. You're simply missing the subtle adjustments that turn practice into progress. And once you start noticing those shifts, everything begins to change. If you missed my earlier video, it explores how certain habits quietly slow your progress, and it connects perfectly to what we're uncovering here. Chapter 4. Your mind learns through correction, not repetition. Your brain doesn't grow by repeating the same action. It grows when it notices what works. You learned through tiny corrections, walking, writing, speaking. Improvement came from small shifts, not perfect attempts. But adults forget this. We cling to routine and overlook correction. And discipline without correction creates stagnation. Try reflecting on this. What changed this week? What stayed the same? What felt slightly clearer? These aren't questions. They're progress triggers. If this message feels relatable so far, a quick like helps it reach others who might need it. But there's another layer to progress people rarely talk about. Chapter 5. Growth lives in gentle discomfort. Most people think discomfort means something is wrong, but steady, manageable discomfort is actually the sign of learning. Growth happens in that small space between comfort and overwhelm, the middle zone, where things stretch you just enough. Here's what disciplined people often do. They master the routine and stay there, comfortable, predictable, familiar. And without realizing it, they pause their own progress. Ever notice how a workout stops feeling effective? Or a task becomes too simple? That's your mind saying, I've learned this. I'm ready for a new angle. You're not stuck. You simply outgrew your previous level. And once you see that, the next step becomes clearer than expected. Chapter 6. Small adjustments create real breakthroughs. Growth rarely comes from adding more. It comes from adjusting better. Try this. Don't overhaul everything. Shift one thing. One new challenge, one revised habit, one fresh feedback loop. That's how momentum returns, through subtle, intentional refinement. Real progress feels like this: calm clarity, steady direction, quiet confidence. You don't need extra force. You need alignment, effort placed where growth actually happens. And when alignment returns, something deeper follows. Chapter 7. The calm of real progress. There's a moment when things begin to make sense again, not because life gets easier, but because your effort finally matches what your growth needs. That's when discipline turns into improvement. That's when routine becomes direction. That's when progress stops feeling far away. You don't need dramatic changes, just small shifts in awareness, the kind that help your effort feel meaningful again. Chapter 8. The gentle shift forward. You're not behind. You're not doing life incorrectly. You're disciplined, and that already holds the hardest part. Now it's about refining, not replacing. Adjusting, not doubting. Real growth is quiet. It's steady. It starts when your mind finally whispers, "I know what I need now." If this message felt grounding, a like truly supports the channel. And if you'd enjoy more calm, steady insights like this, consider subscribing. Share this with someone who's been showing up but feeling unsure. You might give them exactly the clarity they're searching for. Be kind to your mind. It's the space you carry with you everywhere.